supposed to be.
But I think also, Doc, that sometimes when you arrogate so much discretionary powers to some of these returning officers, which is what we saw in 2012, some of them may take decisions that are beyond their paycheck, and which will affect the entire process negatively, don't you think?
I do believe that is right, but the process is, if Plan A fails, specifically, what do we do?
Right.
What do we do? And everybody knows. Look at this gentleman that you were talking about, that he's educated. You were talking about he's lettered and that he should know education is different from, in my opinion.
But Doc, you teach us, you tell us that once you have a degree, and fortunately all three of you are lecturers, you're academics as well. You know that when we come to school, we get a degree, a diploma, an HND, you expect us to do better.
On the election day, possibly we don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of this, but if I have the opportunity to go through and do a comparison, because I have had the opportunity of studying in 3 different countries, then you appreciate that. Yes, you might have all the degrees. You can even have the PhD, but you still not be very much educated.
Right.
So also, we don't want to go there today, but I mean, let me just add something small from the conversation here about some of the accusations that have been going on. As a people, I think we have made everything so political. We are, anything that happens, we will link it to one party or the other. We should begin to distance real cases from political issues. For example, if you go to snatch a ballot box, I am not a lawyer, but common sense will tell me that if you steal, you go to jail.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right.
The first thing is you go through, maybe you'll be arraigned before a judge, and then you can end up in jail. So if I run into somebody's house this afternoon and try to snatch the TV away, possibly I will be arraigned before the court and I will end up in Sawam. The ballot box is not this person. So distant, I mean, separate the political issue from...
But no, these people who snatch ballot boxes or the attempted cases, they don't do it on their own volition. There's somebody who is asking them to go and do it.
Look.
And because they know that person will place a call to get them out of the lion's jaws, they will gladly go and do it. They're getting paid for it.
Johnny, if I ask you to go and snatch a ballot box, will you?
No, I won't.
You won't. If you do, it becomes your responsibility until there is a proof to show that I am responsible, I directed you to do that, then I come in. So until there is a proof, and these people have been arraigned before a judge, and there is a proof that it was party person A who directed them to snatch the box, then it is your own responsibility.
Is it because we're not punishing people too hard enough? Because in our Jaman North constituency this morning, there was a gentleman who took a party-branded motorbike to a polling station. But yesterday, the EC boss was very clear about the presence of these things, even alcoholic beverages and all of that. Now, the police just asked a gentleman to leave. He was not arrested. He's not been punished. He's left to go. And someone will say, okay, let's guess this man is a mystery shopper. So he's come to test the waters, and he will go and tell his army that, okay, even if you go, they won't do anything to you. You are free to go. As a society, are we failing to punish people for when we have to punish them for the offenses that they commit against us?
I think that is secondary. But the first issue is that we should look at the category with which, how we are categorizing it.
Okay.
In this case, it was considered, it was categorized as political, isn't it? Meanwhile, if we have a law and you breach the law, then there is a consequence to that. So forget about the political, whichever political party you are, and let us deal with you as a person in society who has committed something against the law.
Right.
So the consequence of classifying them political will be that at the end, oh, he belongs to Party A,
Okay.
and that Party A has got this big wig who possibly might have sent him, so we cannot punish him. So punishment is important, but first of all, let us recognize it as either what is it, something against the norm or against the law that is punishable. Until we do that, then we'll continue to let these people go scot-free, because you can't steal. How much more then can you go and steal a ballot box in the glare of everyone?
It takes a lot of courage to do that,
Yeah,
doesn't it? Well, this is your Election Command Center, and we're bringing you extensive, comprehensive coverage of Election 2016 right here on 3FM, on TV3, First in News, Best in Entertainment, Onuya FM, Connect FM, Akuma FM, www.3news.com. And if you haven't downloaded your 3 News application yet, simple, go on to the Google Play Store, type in 3news.com and tap on it. As soon as you tap on it, the logo will appear on your Android phone, which means you are glued to the world, and we'll share facts, figures, and historic insights with you right here on TV3, First in News, Best in Entertainment. Your Election Command Center is refreshed by Verna Mineral Water and powered by Rush Energy Drink. I'm sure you're guessing how we have a lot of energy to crisscross the country and bring you all the reports, Skype and backpack and everything. Well, because of these things, we drink a lot of water and we have a lot of energy. Doc, Prof, you had some addition to make to the first part of the conversation.
Yeah. Certainly, I'm not holding brief for the gentleman, but I think if you've been to vote, well, like most of the polling stations, there are a lot of distractions. At times you'll be doing something and you hear people shouting and screaming. There's an incident. So I suspect, I might be wrong, I suspect maybe he got distracted and eventually ticked the wrong name. That is something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then the point about
I'm told that there's a little challenge with your microphone, so we'll move to Mr. Dagwini. So there's also Ellie. Hold on then. I'm told we need to cross over to Studio C immediately for some updates as well. We'll get back to you. This is your Election Command Center. We indeed are the specialists.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Johnny Hughes, for interesting discussions ongoing there. But we have some news coming in. We'll take you to the Ashanti region in a bit. And thank you for staying with us. We swing straight to the Ashanti region, specifically the Asawase constituency, which is currently being held by Muntaka Mubarak, the NDC parliamentary candidate. Information we have is that some confusion seemed to have broken out in that constituency. My colleague William Evans Inkum, our Ashanti regional correspondent, has an update for us.
Around March, when we were having the limited registration, there were a lot of skirmishes here. So the people had thought that this election was going to produce some level of violence. But I must say that from morning till now, we've not recorded any infractions as far as this particular constituency is concerned, or this particular polling station is concerned. With just some few minutes to hit 5 o'clock, polling will stop. But I must say that all those people that you see around, apart from those that on the queue, we're still having some number of people who are yet to cast their vote. But those who have voted already, they have not left the place. They are still keeping an eagle eye on the process. We will be speaking to the electoral officers to find out from them how many have voted so far. Let me get closer to the electoral officers and then ask from them how many have voted so far as far as the elections is concerned. We are live from the Old Palace polling station in the Asawase constituency. A very good evening to you, madam.
Good evening.
So we are inching closer to close of polls. How many have voted so far?
So far we have 574
out of
758.
And I can still see a number of people still standing in the queue waiting to get or go through the process. So this is Center A of the polling station. Let's get closer to Center B and also find out what is happening now. I must say that in as much as we've not recorded any level of infraction as far as this whole exercise is concerned, I can say tension is gradually brewing because we are getting closer to end of polls. I must also say that in the course of time or intermittently, you see some tags come around, but the police also follow up. And anytime the police come, they don't find the tags. Anytime the tags come, they also ensure that the police have moved from here. Armed policemen patrolling the whole area. Let's get closer to Center B and then also speak to the people around to find out from them what has been happening from morning 7 o'clock that we began the exercise till 4:20. What is happening at the moment? A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
So how many have voted so far?
572.
Okay, out of
751.
Now, have you recorded any violence, any misunderstanding, any infraction, or what have you?
Not at all. Not at all.
So it has been very smooth.
Yes, sir.
It has been very smooth. A total of 163 polling stations are in the Asanwase constituency. In general, we are talking about 5,190 polling stations in 47 constituencies as far as the Ashanti region is concerned. So it's been a day of smooth running as far as the exercise of the electoral process is concerned. It has been very, very smooth. And for that matter, Asanwase constituency, we have not actually recorded any massive infraction or violence as far as election 2016 is concerned. But you're still keeping an eagle eye on all the polling stations and all the constituencies.
All right, thank you very much, William Evanzinkum from the Asawase constituency. A very long queue behind him, clearly showing that people want to vote, but they seem to be afraid because time is ticking away. As we speak, if your watch is in sync with what we have, then we have just 30 minutes for polls to close. We have another big news coming up shortly. Stay with us. That was the Ashanti region. We're going to the Upper East region, and my colleague Evelyn Tingma has joined us, and she is going to be Upper West, I beg your pardon, to let us know. Information we have is that a whole community has been unable to vote. Evelyn, good afternoon and thank you for joining us. In fact, it's evening. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Martin.
What can you tell us with regard to what is happening in Lambusie Kani?
Yes, Martin, like you rightly said, I'm in the Lambusie Kani constituency and currently in Kani, and because I'm at the Dabuo Primary School. When we got here, we saw that officials of the EZ are here and the ballot box is still empty, and we just tried to find out. And they are saying that on the register they have a total of 558 people supposed to vote. And as of now, not a single person has cast the ballot. And I have with me the presiding officer here, Kenneth Dabuo, who will want to tell us more. Hello, sir, and thanks so much for your time. You're live on TV3. What have you been doing here since morning? Because you said you haven't recorded any vote yet.
Since morning we came here, we have not had anybody coming to vote. So we also sat down here waiting patiently for voters to come, but no one is coming to vote.
So what are you still doing here? I mean, are you waiting for 5, and then what happened?
Yeah, we are waiting for the time. We are waiting till 5. So if till 5 no one comes to vote, then we'll record what we have and send it to the convention center at what is Lambusie.
And what are you going to collect?
Actually, if we are going to collect 0, if no one comes, we definitely get 0.
All right. Martin, also that has been the presiding officer, Kenneth Dabu. I also have the assembly member for Kani, Kabiri Luanga, and he is also here. Can you tell us what exactly is the reason for your members boycotting the voting today?
Yeah, and actually, that there has been a problem. and that is about the district issue, Lambuse Kane district issue, which we have been airing for so many, almost 1 year today. So, and no response is coming from any office. And the people became active and said, okay, if they have been voting for governments and today they have an issue, they are crying and nobody is coming, they will decide that they will not vote again. And I think that is what has made them not to vote.
What is the issue?
The issue is in 2006, thereabout, they wanted to create the Lambuse Kane district. So there was this negotiation. The Lambuse people themselves could not make up the number. Then we are also Dagari people within that line. And the Lambuse people are Sisale people. So we say, okay, we wouldn't want to make it that because we have been sharing the constituency for quite a long time. So if it becomes a district, it will be something that will help us. Then we say, okay, if that's the case, we want to join. But we also want to be identified within that district. And that identification is simply the name of the area, which is Kane, to be attached to Lambuse, so that we also have some identification as the Gadi people within the district. So that agreement was welcomed. And the day of the inauguration of the district, that is in 2007, the name was mentioned Lambuse Kane district. And we're all happy. We have been there working together very happily until 2015 this year that they started an issue that some of the documents that don't have Kane in the district name. So that an individual sent the case to court saying that they should take away Kane from the name of the district. So we raised an alarm. We wrote so many petitions. We had so many conferences. We had a very, comfortable demonstration, and nobody came to our aid. So the people are saying that if that's the case, then they cannot continue. If you vote for a purpose. They cannot continue to be voting without getting, any audience from somebody when they are crying. So because of that, they say, okay, if that's the case, they will not vote. And I think that is what is making the people not, to come out and vote.
All right. Martin, so you heard him?
Yes.
Okay, so he wanted to add something.
And what has been the most unfortunate and annoying thing is that the Kane traditional area has been divided into two. Part into the Jirapa district and part into the Lambuse district. And as I'm talking to you now, we have land issue because my brother is in Jirapa district. I'm in Lambuse district. So my brother begin to think that if I should take in charge of the land, I will pull the land to Lambuse. And I also think that if he also takes charge of the land, he will pull the land to Jirapa. And I'm telling you now, brothers are fighting over lands as I'm talking to you. So we are saying that let the whole traditional area come together to Jirapa. Period. So, and as I'm talking to you now, some of the the most important thing we just want to stand out because the Kane landmark is equivalent to getting a district, and that is what we actually want. We don't want to have any problem with anybody again because we are peace-loving people in Kane. Yeah.
So Martin.
Yep.
You heard him.
Absolutely.
And so this is the reason they are boycotting the process. And we also have I don't know if you have much time, the youth secretary is here.
Yes.
He also wants to talk to us. Sir, why didn't you and your people come to vote?
Yeah, it's very simple. The SY Lambuse Kane district, there were some issues that we think we could have been resolved without necessarily coming how far it is. But the people have demonstrated, sent a lot of petitions that went unheeded. So the people think that when you give your sovereignty to someone, the person should be accountable to you. Once our petitions and all that have not been adhered to, we decided that we want to reserve that sovereignty. So the people not voting, that is the simple reason.
All right, Martin, so that is the reason they are giving. It is not a problem pertaining to the Dabo primary school alone. All the other polling stations in Kane, they've all not voted today. And that is the situation here, Martin.
Thank you very much, Evelyn Tingma, for that surprising story you have just broken to us, that a whole township has decided not to vote because of land issues and demarcation issues. Details of this will be in our bulletin. Stay with us. We'll be back with another. So we stay in the northern part of the country. We were in the Upper West region where we just spoke to Evelyn Tingma. We are going to the other side to speak to Eva Atiboka. She is in the Upper East and specifically Boko Central. Eva, good afternoon and good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Martin.
Specifically Boko Central, what can you tell us?
Boko Central, just 5 minutes ago, we were there and that was at the Home Science Center, that's South Natinga polling station. And out of 861, only 480 were able to cast their vote as at 4:15. And pressure was building up at the time. Their machines are also giving them problems. I understand the batteries run down so fast, making them inefficient. And so there's pressure really building and mounting on...
How about the manual verification process? Do they have enough forms there for that?
The manual verification process, what they're using that for those the machines cannot verify their fingers. So, and that's a long process. It takes more than 5 minutes. It's sometimes 10 minutes before they could get it properly done. And so,
for polls to officially close, we are hoping that everyone is able to cast their ballot before the process ends. We go straight to Skype again. Kwabena Edujemfi has joined us on to let us know where he is and what he can tell us. Kwabena, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Martin. Good evening, Martin. Now, like you rightly said, it's just about 20 minutes to the close of polls, and I have been monitoring since morning the Weija Bawe constituency, and I can confidently say that the process has been quite smooth over here, apart from some few hitches which we reported on early on in the day. Now, my observation, which probably we should put across to our experts for them to give us answers to, is that across all the polling stations that I have visited, agents of only two political parties, that is the NDC and the NPP, are present. Now, we all know the important role that these political party agents play during a time like this. I mean, there have been times where political parties could not accept the result from a particular polling station because their agents didn't accept them. But in this case, I visited the SCC High Tension Old Station, New Weija polling station. I've visited the Weija Market Square A and B. The MA Primary School Oblojo A, B and C, as well as the electoral, as well as the God's Wonderful Church, New Tetegu A and B. And I'm currently at the Block Factory A and B polling station. And trust me, all these places that I've been to, and even the others, I mean, the list keeps going on. You go there and realize that only two of the party agents are there. So the question we are asking is that the moment we polls closes and counting starts and declaration of results are made, our political parties, or the 5 political parties, are they going to accept the results? That's all we have for you from the Weija Bawe constituency. And don't forget, it's still the election command center, and the house is being refreshed by Vena Mineral Water, healthy drinking, healthy living, and also powered by Rush Energy non-stop. Now over to you, Martin.
Thank you very much for that energetic report, Kwabena Edujemfi, getting to us from the Weija constituency. And we swing straight to the Blekuma West constituency. My colleague Ajoa Mofose has joined us on the phone lines to give us some clarity to the story we are hearing, that some persons were unable to verify, to find their names in the ballot list. Ajoa, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Martin.
What is the situation as we speak?
Yes, right now we've been to about 15 polling centers in the Blekuma West constituency, and there are still long queues, especially at the Shiabu Faith Presby polling center, at the Most Holy Heart polling center, and a couple of others. But the worrying issue was that some of the voters had their names in the excluded list. even though they said they went to verify during the exhibition period. At the Race Memorial School, 7 of such cases were registered, and at the annex of the Race Memorial School, 50 of such cases. So in the end, all of these persons could not exercise their franchise, and we are left with just about 10 minutes for the polls to close. But looking at the long queues at the various polling centers, I'm not too sure by 5 all of them would have been done voting. But once they are done voting, they will do their calculations.
Getting to us from the Ablekuma West constituency. This is your election command center, and we have roughly 13 minutes for polls to officially close. Those who are still in the queue would be able to exercise their franchise. You do not have to worry if you're in the queue before 5 p.m. Stay with us. We'll be back with more updates from across the country as the polls close. This is your Election Command Center. My name is Martin Asiedu-Date. Thank you for staying with your election command center. This is TV3, and we are covering the developments across the country for you. We take you straight to the north, to the Volta region, I beg your pardon, where our reporter Selom Amenya says that everything has been smooth from start of voting, but for a few skirmishes around the Ketu North and North Tong constituencies.
The very last town that shares border with Agbanu, a village in Togo. Let me give you a brief of how the voting exercise has been going on here in the Volta region. The exercise has been very smooth, except for a few incidences here and there. In Juapon, for instance, we heard of some vehicle involved in an accident carrying some ballot papers, and we are told that the police have taken over the issue and they are investigating at Deme, which is also a border town in the Ketu North constituency. We heard of some shooting incidences, but we are told that the security agencies or the police services have been able to bring calm to that particular polling station. Here are the whole central constituency, which is the second densely populated constituency in the Volta region. Everything has been smooth except for the STC terminus, where because of the size of the voters there, the polling station was actually split into three. We had A, B, and C. And thus actually resulted in some confusion because voters did not know which of the polling station they were supposed to go to, whether to the A, to the B, or to the C. And there's been incidences where people also go to polling centers and they are not able to find their names, and then presiding officers hereby check their names with a short code and then direct them. But so far so good. It has been peaceful and good.
And that's Seloma Menya, who is our reporter from the Volta region, bringing us an update of the developments there. It is about 5 minutes for polls to close. We'll be doing a quick mop-up of the entire country in the next few minutes. Stay with TV3. This is your election command center. From the north to the south, east to the west, we have brought you comprehensive coverage like none before. And what we want to do now is to go to that particular constituency where there seemed to have been a major challenge, which is the Jaman North constituency in the Bono Hafu region. The Electoral Commission at a press conference said that voting was underway. Our reporter has joined us on the line. It's about an hour and a half since the EC said that. Seth Yeboah, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, sir.
Can you tell us whether or not now voting has started?
Yes, so voting has not started. Yeah, we had information that people are confusing some people as the voting has started, but yes, so voting has not started yet. The EC came out that according to their regulation that they are using to vote, that the CI, voting supposed to start before they can call it off, and for that reason, they are going to start voting. But so now, the voting materials have not even sent to the various polling stations. So voting has not started yet.
Have they confirmed to you whether or not they've had the go-ahead from Accra to go to start voting?
Yes. According to Madame Dana Samwa, the EC boss here, she said they've gotten the go-ahead to start. And that is what we are all not guessing what they are doing inside there. They've gone inside a room and they've locked the door, the media men and then the security men and all outside here. They are still in there talking. But for the confirmation has come that they sent them order from Accra that they should start voting. But so now they've not started.
All right, thank you very much, Seth Yeboah. I'm reporting from the Jaman North constituency. So, he says voting materials have not even left. Voting has not started, as the EC said. Your election command center will keep an eye on that constituency for you because we have just about 3 minutes for polls to close. My colleague Wendy Lai has joined us on the line now. She's the Dom Kwabinya constituency. That is the constituency with the second largest number of registered voters in Ghana and the first largest constituency with in terms of registered voters in Greater Accra. Wendy, good evening and thank you for joining us. What's happening in Dom Kwabenya?
I came here in the morning and then came back this afternoon, and I've been to a number of the polling centers. I have some figures of registered voters and those who've already voted. For example, for the Oko Presbyterian Church polling center, they have A and B. For polling center 14B, 429 out of 649 persons had cast their ballots after the time we went there, and they had no manual verification done. Still on that same premises and that same polling center, 2 persons had their names expunged from the voters register because they had used NHIS cards. And then at the Oko Presby A1 polling center, 437 voters out of 672 registered voters had cast their ballots for underwent manual verification.
I think we should be cross-checking the facts very well before we send announcement to the whole country, in which case people can put trust whatever you send across. In this case, people will begin to believe whether what Kofi has been sending around, they are all very, very genuine. And what might have caused this for it to be postponed by the political parties when electoral commission, as I understand, had no representation in making that decision is equally unfortunate.
But it could have been easier if the presiding officer just placed a phone call to the district office to say, because essentially the package that they get, the register and book in it, is put together. They do not know what's in it until they open it in the full glare of everybody. The seals are taken off and everything. So if you open it and you have a challenge, the first and most reasonable thing is to revert to your supervisor. How difficult is that?
I think you are talking about the plan B, isn't it?
Exactly.
If the plan A is that the list that the Electoral Commission is sending to you should be the exact copy that the political parties have. If you open it and they are not the same, what do you do? Do we have any such plan B as make a phone call to the district officer or the regional representation of the Electoral Commission? There is no clear-cut information on that plan B. I don't know, there might be. Going forward, I'm thinking I could be crazy, maybe thinking about we having maybe a one-page to-dos to say that if you see this, this is what you have to do. If this happens, this is what you have to do. So it's more of a mini manual to guide these polling station agents and then the electoral officers.
One key question I've been asking Mr. Dagwini is that, well, we're looking at using degree holders, diploma holders, HND and all of that. But how about somebody who started this electoral process with us since 1992, is monitored every election, has been part of the process, is volunteered, is served, and so has a wealth of experience that he brings to bear or she brings to bear? Do we sacrifice that person because of some errors which were recorded in the last election because that person didn't have a degree, an HND? Or, do we just throw experience away, and which is better, experience or academic qualification?
This will require an understanding of the details around such a decision. But I think the reason why people will normally prefer that you get at least literates administering these processes has to do with
backup manual for people.
It's one of the basic requirements of sending people to the field. You see, we have retentive memories, but as human beings, we have a limit. Now, you have a lot of things, do's and don'ts. So if you send people, they just take notes without having a backup manual. In the field, things happen, in that chaotic situation. You might have forgotten what you were even told. Just like we do in academia, when we are sending field assistants out to collect data, to do focus group discussions or whatever, we prepare field manuals for them to refer to. If we have that manual in place, I don't think a lot of this problem would have been resolved.
How about those who think that the manual kills the ability to be proactive, ingenuity, if you will?
No, it's just a reference.
So you have a manual that says if you go and the BVDs are not working, you do A, B, C, D. It does A, B, C, D, and the BVDs are not working. It can't get through to you, and then it says, okay, let's wait. When we get them, we'll continue the process.
It links to your point about having degree holders. Sometimes you need people who are intellectually articulate.
Okay.
If you have a degree holder, or somebody who not just a degree, but somebody who is a bit educated, then being innovative, being articulate intellectually helps with some of this. So you're not dogmatic.
Right.
You're not just going to pick what is in the manual. You are sometimes confronted with issues that you have to come out spontaneously, proactively, and respond to. Let me give you an example. This morning when I went to vote, I had two gentlemen. There were two polling stations. I had A to J or something. It's in your surname. If it's from A to J, you're somewhere, and then the rest are another. Then the guy was wondering, I think the name is G, or so he was wondering which one comes first, G or J. So he started reciting A, B, C, D, and the two of them were reciting A, B, C, D to ascertain which comes first.
Wow.
These are fine gentlemen. In fact, if you look at them, I wish I had taken a photo. Fine gentlemen. They may have experience, but you see, intellectually not ready to undertake some of these exercises. So for me, yes, you need the intellectual bit as well as the experience. But the intellectual bit is more important for me. And then with the manual, I believe a lot of these problems would have been overcome.
Right, that's Professor Peter Korte, Head of Economics at the University of Ghana, Legon. We'll cross over now to the news hub. Martin Asidudeta, my colleague, is standing there. And this is your election command center. Martin.
Thank you very much, Johnny Hughes. Again, it's pretty interesting. Reports have started coming in that polls have officially closed. And what we'll be doing here is that right behind me, we're going to be inputting the figures that will come in, and then we'll try and make sense of it for you. And we have promised that we will be here until the Electoral Commission announces officially who becomes the next president of the Republic of Ghana. And so that is it from me. My team, led by Cyril Dogbe, will be bringing and doing all the analysis of the figures. But as we speak now, another crack team has just joined us, and we've promised you poised, extensive coverage. I've been joined by two gentlemen and a beautiful lady. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Martin.
And thank you very much for joining. You guys look well rested because you're going the long haul until until we get to the president. So we have Brighton Aonfo, and then also Portia Gabo and Godfred. That's it, Alfred Okanse. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I need that rest. But I'll be coming back with the numbers, and then we'll put it in better perspective. So, do take over.
All right. We're grateful, Martin, for that there. And from now till when the last ballot is counted and the last announcement made, the Election Command Center will not officially, that's the word, officially name the figures, but we'll project the figures from polling stations and collation centers. That's the key thing here, Alfred and Portia. So it's not exactly pronouncing the figures, but we're projecting what we have as these are the figures that have come. And the certification has to be done by the Electoral Commission. Portia.
And very soon, counting is underway at various polling stations across the country, and we will be crossing over to Stanley Blewu. Good evening, Stanley. Hello, Stanley.
Yeah.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. And counting has begun. What is happening exactly at where you are?
Yeah, Portia, what I can report from the Hodem polling center is that, indeed, election is supposed to end at 5, but at the moment, what is happening here is that election is still ongoing. The process hasn't ended yet, and so people are in the queue waiting, or people are in the queue casting their ballot. What happened early on is that people showed no interest in the process, and so they did not show up in their numbers. But at the moment, when it is getting to the peak or the closing time, they have come here. They have piled up here in the queue, and so At the moment, when I glanced through the crowd, I could see more than 200 people in a queue waiting to cast their ballot.
Now, Stanley, did you get people coming in after 5 p.m.?
When it was exactly 5 on the dot, the presiding officer here drew the attention of the security here to close the gate. The place, actually, the place where the process is being held is an enclosed area, and so the presiding officer here drew the attention of the security to close the gate to prevent further entry.
Thank you very much, Stanley Blew, giving us those updates. And very soon we'll know who will be Ghana's next president. Of course, he has to get more than 50% of valid votes cast.
Right. So, quick for viewers out there, and officially, polling is supposed to close at 5.
Yes.
But if there is a queue, those in the queue would have to vote. That's a real issue.
What the law says. And in exceptional cases, for example, like the Jaman North constituency, where, according to the Electoral Commission, the decision reached by the district's security council that is dissect.
All right. Alfred, I'm told we have a challenge with your son.
Yes,
we'll quickly fix that.
He was talking about the Jaman North constituency,
right, we'll
where
fix
they are
that.
even yet to get some materials to begin voting.
All right. So it's past 5 p.m. officially. Voting would have been closed, and for those who have been able to have all eligible voters cast ballots, the key thing is for them to begin counting. And for those who still have people in the queue, voting will continue as long as the last person is yet to vote. But let's go to Kwabena Edujemfi. He is in Accra here. Kwabena, good evening. Past 5 p.m. Where are you, and what is happening there?
All right, good evening, Nana Bright. For those past year at the Wejagbawi constituency, we started our journey early on in the morning from the SC A and B polling station, and we are back again to find out how the whole closing process is going to be. And it will surprise you that even as at 4:40 p.m., about 100 people had already started coming around to witness the whole counting process. Some of them are even holding their torchlights, hoping, or in case there are no lights here, they will aid the Electoral Commission or the electoral officers to count their ballots. I can even see some women and children who already have their mats here, who are ready to sleep and witness the whole counting process. I'd like to talk to a few of the people here to find out the whole idea for coming on, of coming here this early to witness the whole process. Good evening. Hello? 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 Hello?
All right. Kwabena was trying to speak to one of the people who have come to the center to be part of the polling process. He's unable to get the person, but we'll get back to Kwabena Edujemfi there. Wejagbawi constituency, one of the polling stations there, and then we fill you in on what's happening there. Alfred, all right, and so your sound is now better now.
It's a clear
Yeah. So it's about 5 o'clock, and then the queue and who can join and who can vote. That's the issue.
Absolutely, and that's the issue. And it's a clear characteristic, as I was saying, of elections for the past 6 elections we've had in this country, where you have a lot more people trooping to the centers, the polling centers, to vote when the process is coming to an end. So that you have the queues rather expanding or actually increasing when it's about 4:30 thereabout. And considering the fact that today is not a holiday, people had to go to work. And it's just a few companies that gave that period of people closing earlier than the normal 5 p.m. So if you close at 4 p.m. and you have to get to your polling center to vote, it is very much expected that the queues will be long at this time. And so long as you are in the queue, the law requires that you vote. So it's clear that we may not have a lot of the polling stations closing their polls as we speak at the moment, as expected, that polls should have been closed by 5 p.m. today. So clearly, that's what we should be expecting.
We were also talking about the situation in the Jaman North constituency where some people have not started voting, and it could go on late in the night, right?
It could, because the information we are getting earlier was the security committee there asking vote to be suspended. Sure. And the EC says, no, you can't do that. You need our approval.
Yes.
And so EC says, go ahead and conduct the polls. Now, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago, Martin spoke to, said who is there, a man there, and he said that voting has not started, even though it should be starting. So probably that constituency is going to vote way deep into the night.
And you know, Bright, you know the concern that I have with this situation. So you have DISEC meeting the various political parties in that constituency. They agree that, looking at the situation on the ground, would have to postpone the election to tomorrow. The Electoral Commission says it's at variance with CI 94 Regulation 36(1), and so it has to be by the approval of the Electoral Commission to have such a decision actually being upheld by law. But then again, the question lies that you have a little over 33 names that the parties identified on the Electoral Commission's list, which was not on the list that the parties had in the Jaman North constituency. That problem, according to Johnson and Siodun Ketia, whom we spoke to earlier on, did indicate that that has to be solved by the EC's headquarters, the IT department. And you heard Eric Kofi-Jakwaso, when he was addressing the press about this problem about 2 hours ago, did indicate that they suspect the transfer voters list could be the problem. If the fundamental source,
the list of the basic
that problem which led to this situation in the Jaman North constituency has not been solved as yet, and you have this voting ongoing, there are a lot of issues that will come up. It's going into the night. So if you don't have proper lighting, people will raise issues with people taking advantage of the darkness to do what's expected. But we hope that the situation goes on quickly. Let's go to Parkwes Yasari. He's at the Information Services Department. We're told that there's some information coming in there. Parkwes, if you can hear me, just take over and get an update of what's happening where you are.
Inside the East Ayawaso constituency of the Greater Accra region. Now, all 3 polling stations make a total of a little over 1,000 registered voters. And as you can see, the electoral officials plus the party agents are sifting out the ballot papers. As you can see, they're separating the NDC from the NPP and the other political parties. And very soon, we're going to begin with the counting of the ballots. Now, I can spot a number of party agents here around. We also have Dr. Frimpong Boateng. He's also here, one of the NPP sympathizers here to witness the counting of the ballot. So we're currently here at the Information Services Department here at the East Ayawaso constituency of the Greater Accra region. We're bringing you all the details, and when the final results have been declared here at the polling station, we'll bring you details of that and many more, as well as reactions from the various party agents and supporters here right now.
Thing we have done today. I love the enthusiasm of voters who queued up last night, early this morning, and just made sure that they were part of the process. You look at the Information Service Center, polling center that we just saw. People there to be part of the counting. And so it is exciting, and I know that when we have everything sorted out, I think the B+ could change into an A.
Because we're juxtaposing what's happening now and what happened in 2012, you know. So let's cross over to the Wejagbawe constituency now, where Kwabena Ejujemfi is standing by. We're told that counting is about starting there. Kwabena, if you can hear me, just give us an update of this situation where you are.
Okay, so at SCC High Tension Nuweja A and B polling station, counting is about to start. Like you all know, usually when polls close, the electoral officials have to sort the ballot papers out before they do the counting. So currently, that is what is ongoing here, and I can count about 200 electorates here who are who want to know what is happening. And trust me, the enthusiasm with which they are standing here, you have no idea. I mean, they want to know every single thing that goes into the whole process. So the
everything is ongoing. The process has been so far, and we are waiting for the counting to start.
Well, Governor, thank you very much. When the events begin, the counting process begin in itself, we'll get back to you for some more details. So that's the Wejagbawe constituency situation we've got. So, as was expected, Portia Bright, you have that delay, because in some of those areas, there were issues. For example, the Wejagbawe constituency, earlier on, there were issues of people not finding their names because there were some 2 other polling stations created because of the size of the constituency. People couldn't find their names early enough. So if you are in the queue, you still have to vote.
And this issue about those who registered using the NHIS cards, unfortunately, they couldn't vote because the Supreme Court ordered
that would have been obviously corrected in this case because their biometric information
isn't there.
Yes. So those are the issues that will come up with related to this. But I still, refer to this Jaman North situation because that has been a reference point for a lot of people who are also raising questions about how this process is going to be. I don't know how it would have been feasible for the people there to have the election go on tomorrow,
well,
rather than tonight.
Polling station, and you can't guarantee what the safety of even officials who will be involved. So let's hold on tomorrow. After all, it won't be the first time we voted at a constituency twice in 2012.
The EC wants to avoid this thing about the elections going into the second day, because prior to today, you know what the political parties have been saying about.
But
if it goes into the second day.
Portia, would it be fair that if in 2012, out of 275 constituencies, a lot of them did a second day voting, and just one constituency. For me, it shouldn't be a reason why EC would think that we should not do a second day.
Okay, let's go to the basic constituency. We're getting updates from there.
No, I think it's a polling station.
Yes,
a polling station.
Yes, it's a polling station in there. Daniel Opoko, if you can hear me, what's happening where you are? If you give us some updates. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. If you can hear me, I'm asking you the polling station where you are now. What's the update of the situation there? I don't think we're hearing. Yes.
Yes.
Sign how to decide who was going to be Ghana's next president. I'm hoping Jaman North won't take us back to 2008.
Nobody. Well, we were told that about how many voters there.
Just a little over the standing I get. Think about, I'll not hazard the guess, but how much around 3,000. We need to find
correct the figure. But you see, it's not Jaman North alone. We're told that somewhere Lambusia, somewhere nobody has voted because of a land dispute, and that they have about 23,000 voters on the list. So those are 2 constituencies we need to watch. Alfred, I think Danny should be joining us now.
Yeah, so let's get to Daniel Opoko now. Daniel, if you can hear me, what's the update of the situation where you are? Hello, Daniel, can you hear me?
All right. I'm sure when counting starts, the phone is on, but something is disrupting his attention to the phone. We'll get Daniel back on the phone lines. He is in the Odududu constituency. That's one key area we'll be watching. I will be interested in the parliamentary candidates there.
And see how it turns out. It's been with a lot of activity proud to today. Nilante Vanderpoy, Nilante Bannerman, relatives by blood, but opposition by politics. So very interesting to see how that pans out.
So we understand that counting is underway at the Information Service Center polling station, where Parkway C just gave us an update over there, and very soon we'll get to know who won the parliamentary and presidential election over there. So very soon Parkway C will be giving us that update, but counting has started over there at the Information Service Center station.
All right, that's in the Ayawaso East constituency of the Greater Accra region, and of course Greater Accra is key when it comes to who wins the presidency. And of course, if we go back to the figures, and Martin will take a particular look at that, try and go back to the figures and see which region did what for political parties as far as who won the presidency is concerned. And Greater Accra is one of the key regions you need to take a look at. Ayawaso East is one of them. Ayawaso West, Wogon. Those are constituencies that contribute a lot to how many vote parties win in the Greater Accra region. And so official counting has started in some other places. We're told some other places are counting, others are still voting. But of course, the law allows them to vote as long as they join the queue before 5 p.m. But we'll tell you more about that. Let's go to the Dadekotopon constituency in the Greater Accra region, Alfred.
Yes, my Paul Sowa is there for us and giving us an update of the situation. My Paul, if you can hear me, what's the situation at the Dadekotopon constituency?
The situation here is very calming. Everybody is calmly waiting as the electoral officers are counting the votes. I'm currently at the Laboni police station, and I just had a chance to interview the American ambassador, and he was impressed about the elections so far. The polling
centers across the country are beginning to sort out the various ballots, and counting is expected to start soon. That's what exactly we're going to do, because we're going to get you wherever the polling stations are and get you the figures as they come in. But like we said, we're only projecting these figures. Now, it is only the Electoral Commission that can certify and say that these are certified results. We're just projecting these figures from the various polling stations where our men and women are located. Don't take them as certified results. They are our projection of the figures.
And right, even as the figures come in, it will be interesting to know the rejected ballots this time round. And 2008, put them together, they were the third force, right? Over 200,000 rejected ballots. Third force. If they were a political party, they would have been third in the elections. Right. Do you think we've done enough to educate the Ghanaian voter?
Well, I doubt if the education went well, but we heard of efforts by the Electoral Commission to reduce the number of rejected ballots. So they said that they decided to broaden the border line of the various candidates, so that you have a thick black line separating the various candidates, so that, I don't know how big your thumb is, but even if it's that big, when I voted, I saw that even if you had...
that box has been expanded.
Yes. Right. So, interestingly, our literacy rate is 76.6%. So you'll be wondering what goes into. Do people intentionally spoil their ballots?
No, they don't. They don't. And Alfred can tell you that one of the key reasons why EC also had to change this ink with that of the thumbprinted ink is that in the past, when you have this black ink on your ballot and the index finger ink gets onto the ballot, some polling agent has said that no, we won't take it. It is a rejected ballot. But now EC said that this is a different ink, the color. So when we see this one on the ballot and we see the black one, we will know that indeed this is the vote you made and not the index finger ink. So then we're not going to reject that. So at least that way, we're expecting that we won't see rejected ballots becoming third or in anywhere.
You know, but and also that concern about how some electoral officers allegedly do contribute to spoiling the ballots or staining the ballots and then eventually counted as rejected ballots. This time around, we have them wearing gloves to count the ballot papers. All these are measures just to ensure that we cut down on spoiled ballots, because clearly it's a concern, because the spoiled ballots numbers have been increasing since 1992, 96, 2000, 2004, 2008. 2012 was just a very, very sad situation, you know. So I hope that these measures put in place by the Electoral Commission would help us to reduce this incidence of spoiled ballots in our electoral system.
All right.
Okay, let's go to Kukua, who is joining us on the telephone. The Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. Kukua, if you can hear me, thank you very much for your time. Okay. Now, what's happening where you are at the moment?
Okay, with most of the police centers we visited, they were getting ready to close polls, but we had to settle at one particular center to be able to capture the final proceedings. Presently, we are at the ANC shopping mall polling center, and there are two centers at this polling center. There are two separate centers which are all operating at this center. One is ready and is doing the counting, and we have a force of people gathered here observing the process. We have the other group which is still trying to sort out their things and get ready to come and start counting. So that's about what is happening. After here, we will move to other polling centers. But when we were leaving there were still a lot of people, a very long queue at 5 p.m. So we're anticipating that by the time we leave here, the people would have finished voting and then they will start counting. So that's what we are doing now.
So essentially, counting hasn't started at the polling station where you are now?
No, where I am now, counting has started. We are at the ANC polling center. There are two polling stations that operate here. And the second one is preparing to come and start counting. The first one is ready. They are sorting the ballot papers out. And when they finish, they will start counting for the particular, the political party, I mean.
Well,
right.
Thank you.
Kukua, don't drop the line here. Let's quickly find out. Now, if you say that they are not sorting out the papers, it means that they might run into the dark with the counting. Have you seen efforts at perhaps getting the lighting system around the area ready when night falls?
Okay, for this particular one, they are in an open space. So hopefully, if the weather doesn't get dark so soon, they'll be able to finish the counting because they are just a little over 500. But for the others who seem to be in a bit enclosed area, I think the darkness will interfere. But we are yet to get there and find out if they have any lighting system that will aid them in their counting. But people are all, observers are so ready, looking on, so I am sure all will be sorted. The second polling center is also ready to start counting, and that's about what is happening now.
Okay, so let's go to Jirapa now. Evelyn Tengma is joining us right there. Evelyn, can you just tell us an update of the situation at the polling station where you are?
Yeah, Alfred, I'm currently at the Jirapa constituency, and to be specific, and the St. Augustine's GHS polling station, and the EC officials are here, all the party agents are here, and they are sorting out the ballot papers from the ballot boxes. And currently they are doing the presidential one, and after that they will also sort out the parliamentary one for the results to be declared. Alfred.
But does it look like it would run into the night? And if it will, has provision been made to ensure that there is some lighting there when the night falls?
Yeah, Alfred, looking at things, they will run into the night because even with the presidential, they have not even gotten anywhere. They are just sorting them out before they will now count. Before they come to the palace. So it means that it will run into the night. But with my observation, I haven't seen any provision that has been made for lighting system here. I don't know, but I haven't asked the presiding officer. But my own observation, I haven't seen anything like that. And so we'll find out and get our viewers posted.
Evelyn, thank you very much for that update. So, Evelyn Tengma from Jirapa constituency. So, Bright and Portia, it does bring up the issue of whether adequate provision has been made if the night falls, because sorting has just begun. Clearly, if you want to postulate, they would not finish the counting process before night falls. It's already 5:45 thereabouts, right, as we speak at the moment.
I know of solar lamps.
Let's wait and see.
Solar lamps, and of course you can use your phone light to do that. And
in
previous elections, 2012,
Okay,
Anyway.
I think the EC has assured of adequate lighting when it gets deep into the night, and we're told of solar lamps to areas where electricity is a challenge. So let's wait. Our reporters will tell us exactly.
Let's get to the Central Region, Cape Coast South now, and Thomas Khan is joining us with an update of the situation. Thomas, if you can hear me, has voting come to an end and counting begun where you are?
Hi, good evening, Steve. Yeah, voting has come to an end. Currently, I happen to find myself at the Cape Coast South constituency and the Cape Coast Town Hall, to be precise. Over here, there are two polling stations. That is Cape Coast Town Hall A and B. And then just a while ago, they just finished sorting out the ballot papers, and then counting is just about beginning. And I've seen people marching up here, and the presiding officer over here is calling the attention of the public, the masses who have been here, to comport themselves to witness the exercise. And then now, as you can hear from the background, counting has just begun, and already it's been counted. That is for the presidential. And then they just counted 5 spot ballot papers for the presidential. And looking at the faces of the people, I'm sure people are disappointed that at this age, they will count ballots and then count rejected or spot ballot papers.
Interesting.
I see. He's already talking about four rejected?
5, actually. 5 spot ballots there in the Cape Coast South.
I see. That's Cape Coast South constituency.
Yes. Town Hall A and B. And these are just 2 polling stations out of the lot that will be in that constituency. We're counting rejected ballots already. So it's a matter of concern already, giving us a reason to look at the number of rejected ballots at the end of the counting today.
All right, we're grateful, and we're going to fill you in on what's happening across the country. Reporters are at the various polling centers, and we'll be getting the polling station results. And as we said earlier, these are not certified results. We are just projecting them. They are results that we have taken. We cannot confirm if indeed that is what the Electoral Commission has certified. So I don't take them as certified results. The EC will do that. We're only projecting what we have received from the various polling stations.
It's generally been a smooth process, and Atema just funded report about people attempting to snatch the ballot boxes. I'm hoping whether they will be prosecuted, right?
Well, of course, they have to. I mean, we told the police has picked
I'll give an update on that, because ASP Juliana Obengho is the head of public affairs at the Tema Regional Police Command. That clarified that report earlier on that these 5 gentlemen who were arrested did not go snatching ballot boxes. They say upon interrogation that they were engaged by one of the candidates in that constituency to come and oversee the counting of the process, because he says that in the previous elections he has been cheated in the counting process. So they were there to monitor the counting process on behalf of one of the candidates
apart
there.
From the
and 3 of them are not even registered voted in that constituency. Only 2 of them. 3 of them came from Accra. So they are still interrogating them. We're speaking at the moment. The investigation is still ongoing. The candidate in question's name has not been mentioned yet. So I think it will be worth something that we'll have to ask for.
Okay, so counting ambassadors, they're picked up by the police. We'll follow that story and get you more from it. This is the Election Command Center, and John Hughes is with his guest there, and we'll quickly go there, but stay here because the results have started coming in, and we'll let you know as and when they come in. Counting is underway, and very soon we'll be telling you some polling station results. Projected, not certified results. Johnny Hughes, grateful for your time too, and I'm sure your guests are still seated there.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. And you 3 look wonderful there. The impeccable analysis that you're running from
the News Hub.
But back into
to the Election Command Center. I still have my three guests here, Dr. Francis Boachile Jenim, Godwin Adangwini, and Professor Peter Quartey. Gentlemen, so the results have started coming in, the thick and fast, as we like to say here, but as usual, they are not certified results. These are just provisional, you know, we can't call them. But your general impressions so far, what you have heard come in, someone whispered to me that we need shock absorbers and all of that. Let me start with you, Godwin Adangwini. Your thoughts about the results that are coming in, general composure of the electorate as well.
Well, I think that those who are contesting are not newcomers to the game. Some of them have lost before. Some may not have lost, but will nevertheless not be new to the reality of losing an election. I want to believe that they would have psyched themselves for the outcome. But of course, the campaigning was done in such a way that, all contestants were very sure that they would win, but it can only be one winner. Okay. So there will be serious disappointments. That's true, but we can't tell the scale yet. Okay. And so as time goes on, maybe the figures will provide a basis for further discussions on that.
Interesting, Prof. Your thoughts as well. And do we need ambulances by the constituencies where the contestants are?
I think there are two things we have to do. One is to manage the electorates themselves. Yeah. When the results come, we need to manage them. We need to, I think there's been a lot of education already, but we need to manage and also tell them to manage the expectations and manage the outcomes. Accept whatever results that come out, because if you lost, there'll be another 10. In 4 years, your candidate can come back again. So think Ghana first. Okay. Then also the contestants themselves have to be managed psychologically. I think that process, I don't know who has to do it, but it has to be done. And I'm sure by now it's been done, or somebody should be doing it if it's not been done. Then, of course, the issue about the ambulance thing, it's not trivial. It's something we need to think about because people have gone into these elections, and this very one, the stakes are so high. Okay. From both ends, from the incumbent and also from the opposition. And I think there could be some are veteran. Exactly. Yeah, but as you age, your shocks also shock absorbers also reduce. That's number one. Then also there are newcomers as well. Okay. Some even borrow to go into some of these elections, and it's not that easy. And I think we need to manage some of this.
All right, thank you, Doc. Briefly, and then we'll take your closing thoughts. 30 seconds each, and then we'll wrap.
All right. You contested because you wanted to serve. Right. Winning power simply means I'm ready to serve. If the people are saying that, no, this time around we don't want you to serve, but we prefer someone else, that may be disappointing, but it also tells you that there is somebody that the people think that can serve better than you. So we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves as to the point that we should collapse and call for an ambulance. Anyway, the ambulance idea will be a very good one. So I think it's all coming to the point that I think political power in Ghana is so much that people sometimes don't even develop their profession. Okay. But would think that once they have the power, they can do everything. Look, as you are going into politics, please look and analyze things very, very carefully. And look at the politicians who have lived in your district. Right. And look at how they ended up, because some of them didn't develop their careers. So my simple advice to all those who are contestants for political offices is that please develop your career alongside applying for a position in the political field.
Thank you very much. Godwin Adangwini, your closing thoughts, 30 seconds, if you will.
Well, I think it's been eventful and peaceful, and I think it's been very impressive too. So far, no major incidents, and if this spirit goes into the counting and the collation process, then I think that it will have been a huge leap, I mean, in our electoral process. But I think that the media, in particular, will also need to conduct itself in a way that will manage the emotions, I mean, that will coming up from party supporters and then from contestants.
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of counting that's going on at the information center. We'll cross over shortly, but Doc, Prof, your closing thoughts, 30 seconds for you as well.
30 seconds, quick one. Let me congratulate all the presidential candidates especially for all the effort. I mean, I see the president moving around the country. It's not an easy task. The Nanado also, you know, at his age is also doing so well, and all the aspirants, as well as the electorates, the people involved in the processes. We have successfully completed phase 1, almost completing phase 1. Let's tap our shoulders on this. Let's move on the same spirit into phase 2, the counting and collation, as we move along, and also think Ghana first. At the end of the day, it's Ghana that wins, not the...
Thank you very much. That's Professor Peter Quartey. He's head of economics at the University of Ghana, Legon, and Gordon Adagwini. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Professional Studies here in Accra, and Dr. Francis Boateng is director of Institute of Industrial Research at CSIR. This has been your election command center. The second phase, as you know, has just started. Counting is underway. The results are coming in thick and fast, and we'll give you the facts and figures as it appears, and we'll wait patiently on the Electoral Commission to certify the results, and then we'll run them by you. We all need to be part of this bigger picture so that we don't get to a point of further confusion as opposed to getting to a point of logical confusion. Remember, the hashtag is Election Command. We're on Twitter. Join us, be part of the winning team, and we'll cross over now to the News Hub. Alfred Okansi is standing by. Alfred, yes, so you're there, and the details are coming in. Already some of the results are popping up on Twitter, and I see a couple of surprises. Some zeros, some ones, and they're making, it feels like binary fishing, if you ask me, Alfred.
You can imagine if the relatives of these people voted for them in those constituencies or polling stations for their mother. Thank you, Johnny Hughes and the rest of the team there at the command center. Let me just welcome you back here to the News Hub, where the results are coming in thick and fast. We need to make it very clear that these are provisional results coming through from our men and women on the ground in almost all the 29,000 polling stations across the country. So the first provisional results that we can put out here from the Amasaman MA polling station, Amasaman MA polling station, presidential, NDC 224, NPP 276, NPP 276, and this is for presidential. PPP 1, PPP 1, CPP 0, CPP 0, PNC 0, PNC 0, NDP 0, NDP 0. That's for Amasaman MA polling station provisional results coming through. So let me just go over it again, just for the benefit of those who cut through halfway. So this is the Amasaman MA polling station. NDC 224, that's for presidential. So John Dramani Mahama 224. NPP Nana Dodonko Akufo-Addo 276. 276. PPP's Dr. Papa Kusindum 1. PPP 1. CPP's Ivor Green Street 0. CPP 0. PNC's Dr. Edward Nasigri Mahama 0. PNC 0. NDP's Nana Kunedu Jaman Rawlings, 0. NDP, 0. These are provisional results from the Amasaman MA polling stations. A lot of them will be scrolling down the screen, so just keep watching so you get updated. So that's beginning to look more interesting.
It will be interesting to get results from other polling stations, but already, Bright, the smaller political parties not doing so well. Consistently, they've had less than 2% of valid votes cast.
Well, it's too early to, I mean, this is just one polling station. Let's see. All three of them.
Okay, so I have another one just coming through now. Provisional results from the Labone polling station at La Dadekotopong. Labone polling station at La Dadekotopong. Provisional results for presidential. CPP 1. Ivor Green Street 1. NDP Nana Konadu Jaman Rawlings 0. NDP 0. NDC 134 for John Dramani Mahama. Progressive People's Party Dr. Papakusundum 4. 4 for PPP. NPP 255. 255. PNC Dr. Mahama 0. PNC 0. Independent candidate Jacob Osei-Yeboah 0. Independent candidate Jacob Osei-Yeboah 0. And spoiled ballots 3. So at this polling station, the La Dadekotopon polling station, the spoiled ballot was more than the ones that the PNC Edward Mahama and Nana Konadu Jaman Rawlings and also Jacob Osei-Yeboah had. So we go to Ablekuma West Extra Morale B polling station. I like the name of the polling station. Extra Morale. And that is what Rush Energy Drink is giving to us tonight. On your election command center. So Ablekuma West Extra Morale B polling station. Presidential, provisional. These are provisional results. NDC 122. NDC John Mahama 122. PPP Dr. Papakusundum 3. PPP 3. NPP Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo 336. 336. NPP 336. PNC 1. PNC 1. I'll take it again from the Ablekuma West Extra Morale B polling station area. Presidential provisional results. NPP 336. NDC 122. PPP 3. PNC 1. That is what is happening as we speak at the moment there. So I'm going to run through quickly also some other polling station provisional results coming through. The Odogono Model School A in the Anya Sowotum constituency presidential provisional results. NPP 305. 305. NDC 132 for John Mahama. NPP Nanado 305. PPP's Dr. Papakusundum, we have 3 there. CPP Ivor Green Street 1. Independent Jacob Osei-Yeboah 0. PNC Dr. Edward Mahama 0. NDP Nana Konadu Jaman Rawlings 0. Rejected ballots 2. That is for Odogono Model School A, Anya Sowotum constituency. Presidential provisional results there. So let's go over to the telephone now. Wendy Lai is in the Domik Kwabenya constituency with some provisional results. Wendy, if you can hear me, check it over and treat us with those results from where you are.
Okay, Alfred. I'm currently at the Oko Presbyterian Church polling center, and I have one provisional result for the presidential elections here, and it's for Oko Presby 15A polling station. And the figures are for CPP 1, NDP 0, NDC 154, PPP 4, and NPP 319. Let me take it again. CPP 1, NDP 0, NDC 154, PPP 4, and NPP 319. These are provisional presidential results.
Wendy, please, if you could just take it again.
15A.
Wendy, if you could be slower in a pace and take it again for us. So
Okay, so for the Oko Presby 15A polling station, provisional presidential results, CPP 1, NDP 0, NDC 154, PPP 4, NPP 319.
319.
Alfred.
Okay. And this is for which polling station exactly? What's the name of the polling station?
Oko Presbyterian Church polling station 15A.
Okay.
Oko Presby.
Oko
Presbyterian
Presby.
Church 15A polling station.
Great. But how about the others as well?
There's counting is underway. There are about 3 other polling stations here. They're still doing the counting. So I'm waiting to get the results and then let you know.
Great. Wendy, thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Alfred.
So that's the situation then. Right.
Go to the northern region. Godfred Tanam is there in the Bole constituency. He is at one of the polling stations. We're told he's moved to Tamale South, one of the polling centers there very soon. He will come through with what's happening there. As we told you earlier, counting started across the length and breadth of the country where voting has ended and counting has begun there. And Godfred Tanam is at one of the polling stations in the Tamale South constituency.
Counting is ongoing at one of the police stations, that is Ghana Legion A and then Ghana Legion B, and then the presidential ballot papers have already been counted, and then we have NDC polling at Ghana Legion A, NDC having 180, NPP 177, PPP 5, and they had rejected 2. So 364 verified, and then biometrically, and then 1 verified manually. So the voters who were expected to be here were supposed to be 548, and then 364 have been verified. So counting is ongoing now with the parliamentary contest.
25. 26.
This is for
27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34.
All right, so at the Legion B, we have NDC polling 174, and that is presidential, and then MPP polling 137, NDP 1, PPP 2. So that is for Legion, Ghana Legion B, and we have the voters around here. They are observing exactly what is going here. Initially, there were a lot of people here, but some have left, and we have others here. So this is the Tamale Central constituency where Inus Afuseni is the incumbent MP. From Election Command Center, refreshed by Vena mineral water, healthy drinking, healthy living, and powered by Rush Energy non-stop from the Tamale Central constituency. This has been Godfred Tanam reporting.
Godfred Tanam. I have some results also coming in from the Hiyad Video Center, Kokumlemle A, and provisional results presidential NPP 262, NPP 262, NDC 129, NDC 129, PPP 1, PPP 1, NDP 1, CPP 0, and rejected ballot 2. That was the Hiad Video Center, Kokomlemle A. And for B, the same Hiad Video Center, provisional results for presidential NPP 263, NPP 263, NDC 116, NDC 116, PPP 3, NDP 0, CPP 0, and rejected ballot 0. Alfred.
Interesting. So, and right, the result, provisional results are trickling in thick and fast. So, if you permit me, let me just go on it again. And this one coming through from the the Ekonfi constituency, Otabana J Pride polling station. Otabana J Pride polling station. That's the Ekonfi constituency. But before that, we're told that a press conference is just about starting at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. So Bridget Otto is a lady on the ground there. She'll bring us some details of what the EC will be telling us there. But for the Ekonfi constituency, Otabana J Pride polling station, presidential provisional results, CPP 1. CPP Ivor Green Street 1, NDP Nana Konedo Jaman Rawlings 0, NDP 0, NDC 132, NDC 132 provisional, NPP 272, NPP 272, PPP Dr. Papa Kwesindum there 5. PPP 5. Dr. Edward Mahama of PNC 0. PNC 0. Jacob Osei-Yeboah 0. Independent 0. And guess what? Rejected ballots 7. Rejected ballots 7. Another constituency where if I had contested as a rejected ballots candidate, I think I would have been gaining a lot more there. But let's go to the St. Anthony JSS Boko Central. St. Anthony JHS Boko Central. St. Anthony JHS Boko Central. NDP 2. NDP 2. St. Anthony JHS Boko Central. Nana Koneduma Jaman Rawlings, NDP 2. NDC 72. NDC President John Mahama 72. NPP Nana Koneduma, that's Nana Dodankwe Akufo-Addo, NPP 124. NPP 124. Dr. Papa Kwesindum, PPP 1. PPP 1. These are the provisional results from the St. Anthony JHS Boko Central. Let's go to Odupong Pehe D. Kasua. Odupong Pehe D. Kasua polling station. Odupong Pehe D. Kasua polling station. Papa Kwesindum, PPP 5. PPP 5. John Mahama of the NDC 260. That's 260. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo of the NPP 164. 164. And again, spoiled ballots 4. Spoiled ballot 4. This is for Odupong Pehe D. Kasua polling station. Provisional results. Let's go to Ekonfi constituency. Atabonadze Pride polling station presidential. CPP 1. Ivor Green Street 1. Nana Konedo Jaman Rawlings, NDP 0. NDP 0. NDC 132. NDC 132. NPP 272. NPP 272. Rejected ballots 7. Total vote cast 242, as in the total valid votes cast there. Quickly, let's go to the Nuru Mustafia B. Nuru Mustafia B presidential provisional results